My 27 female, younger brother, 21 male, is dating a toxic girl, 20 female, and will not break up with her. So my younger brother, 21, and I, 27 female, are quite close. We have two older brothers, 33 and 35, who don't really speak to us or have anything to do with us, but they talk to each other all the time, so we naturally became close with each other growing up. He started dating a girl, 20, he met on Hinge almost a year ago. At first she seemed, from what he told us, a normal and okay person. She lives an hour away from us. We both live with our parents, so it's a long-distant relationship. He drives to see her every 2 weeks, she never drives here to see him. The first few months he didn't want to tell us about her in case it didn't work out with her, which was fair. So then after they were together a few months we started hearing more and more about her slowly, and she seemed decent from the little he told us. We still don't really know what she looks like though, as he never showed us a picture, only a glimpse of a small one on his phone lock screen, and she has never come over and we have still never met her. But as time went on we noticed he talks to her a little too much. Their texts are a mile long, and are constant throughout the day, every day. We can't have a conversation with him much because he is on his phone just texting, even if you're actively talking to him. She also wants to call and talk on the phone for at least 2 hours every night. If he does not do this or has no time, he works 35 hours per week and goes to school full-time. She is not currently in school and works maybe 15–20 hours a week. She gets mad and starts an argument, basically saying he doesn't care about her and cares about his family, friends, school more than her. Even on my birthday a couple months ago, which was already shitty thanks to my dad screaming at me, she still demanded he text her and talk to her and interrupted my birthday all day and during the dinner outing at a restaurant. She starts a fight with him over something very trivial and juvenile almost every day, and if not then every week. A few months back she went through his followers on Instagram and made him unfollow a girl she doesn't know at all for seemingly no other reason besides the fact this girl is super pretty. She is a mutual acquaintance of my brother and I that we worked with, and who is in a committed relationship for a few years now with her own boyfriend, who my brother doesn't even talk to at all but still had her as a follower because of how nice she was. But this girl he's dating made him unfollow her because reasons. A few weeks ago I was at the store and trying to call our mom, who wasn't answering. I called my brother asking what she's doing and have her text me back. Well, unbeknownst to me my brother was on the phone with his girlfriend at the time. He asked her to hang on while he answered me real quick and called her right back. She did not like that and was angry that he took my call and hung up on her. Now the best part is something that recently happened that I'm surprised wasn't the final straw with my brother. As I said before, we're quite close, so we have some pictures together, mostly silly Snapchat filter ones. Apparently one popped up on his phone memories one day of us that she saw when he was with her. It was of us sitting on his bed in his room. We go in each other's rooms to talk a lot, with both of us with our heads together smiling with that mud mask filter. She got super upset. She said she thinks it's just weird how close we are, it's super weird how I was in his room on his bed, etc., basically insinuating it's weird because she thinks it's sexual because I'm sitting on his bed, I guess. Just making a big deal out of an innocent sibling picture. Now, once again, I've never met this girl yet. She's never met me. We have never spoken to each other in any way. And she has already said months back, when they were only together for a couple months at this point, accusing my brother of caring about me specifically, his sister, more than her. Apparently, I can't even have a close relationship with my brother or even talk to him. I asked my brother if he thought it would be an issue with her if I was a guy. Your brother? Do you think she would make it an issue if I was ugly? I personally don't think so. From things she has done so far, I think she's quite insecure. And immature. Even though I'm his sister, for Christ's sake, she's worrying about me stealing him away from her, and trying to make him weirded out thinking our close relationship is something incestual. My brother of course did not like what she was saying about me, but is still with her because they have good moments sometimes. It's sort of hurtful for me because he's apparently okay with her talking shit about his own family. She also said, after my brother asked her why she's still friends with a problematic girl, that he can't tell her who to be friends with. But 1, he didn't say that, and 2, she can tell him who to follow and not follow though apparently. He said he simply didn't like her friend because of the bad things she's told him about her, and she said, well, I don't like brother's friend. Another person she has never met and who is actually a very kind person. But since she was mad about my brother not liking her friend, who she also talked shit about constantly. Then she had to immaturely retaliate by attacking one of his friends, whom she doesn't know at all. So now is she not only causing issues with his family, but now one of his best friends. When he goes to see her it's a sexual relationship. I just pray he doesn't get her pregnant. My parents and I are just hoping they break up soon. I've told him I'm not sure why he just doesn't break up with her, as he's super stressed out all the time because of her. He claims he's not with her just for sex. He just will not end things with her and I'm not sure what to do. We've all tried giving him advice. I hate seeing him being in a toxic and borderline abusive relationship. One of our older brothers is married and on the verge of divorce with a woman almost just like this girl. So it seems like he would learn from that, but it seems not. I truthfully don't even want to meet her at this point as she's already trying to start something with me by forcing my brother to pick her over me and everyone else in his life. She apparently is not close with her family or her own brother, who is autistic that she also talks shit about. So she doesn't get it or understand. But that doesn't mean just because she's not close with them that I can't be close with my own brother. I'm not sure what to tell him anymore. He seems to not know that none of this is normal in a relationship. Anytime we get on the topic of her he says he doesn't want to talk about it and he's stressed out enough. I'm taking him out for a belated 21st drink soon and I know he'll be texting her the whole time and she will get mad if he doesn't and spends time with me instead. Help. She implied y'all were having a sexual relationship because of a picture? That's absolutely gross. If my partner said that to me they would be out the door. She sounds desperate and controlling, someone who would try to isolate him from the rest of his friends and family. This girl has some all-encompassing insecurities and your brother probably doesn't see the red flags yet. As someone who has a sibling who has dated toxic people before, the best you can do is stay close to him and casually calm out her bad behavior. Don't insist that he leave her though, that could be turned around on you and only have him grow closer and defensive of her. He's young, he has to learn the hard way of relationships can go bad. Just give him advice and let him choose. He got to just learn it on his own unfortunately. We've all been there. Trial of a man. You can advise him though, but don't force it. You have a problem and it isn't her. You miss your brother. You can't stand her because it takes his attention away from you. He's your best friend. The solution is not trying to break them up. You would be best served by creating a life for yourself that doesn't revolve around him. He's not going to listen and it's just going to drive a wedge between the two of you if you keep pointing out everything you don't like. Right now he trusts you enough to bitch about the things he doesn't like. We tend to vent to our loved ones and forget to tell them all the good things about the other person. You are way too involved in his relationship. It will run its course. 30 female. Don't know how to face my fiancé, 32 male, after I left our wedding over a lost dress. I was meant to get married on Sunday. It's currently Tuesday morning here in Australia. But I didn't because the special dress I made my daughter went missing and the reactions I received from my fiancé, my mother and just other family members on both sides. This dress is very special to me. Like I said, I made it for my daughter, who would be 3 months at the time of the wedding. I had dreams of carrying her down the aisle with me. She was unfortunately stillborn at 32 weeks. I wanted to postpone the wedding, but no one else did. Everyone else was saying bye my and fiancé still getting married on our wedding date. It would be a beautiful note to end a terribly dark chapter of our lives, that by continuing to get married as planned, it would help us heal and move on. My only condition was that I would be carrying my daughter's dress down the aisle with me. So many people, my fiancé and my mum, said it was morbid and creepy and I was making a happy, joyous occasion all about me and my grief. I stood my ground, and after a while people stopped bringing up the dress. I had hoped people had forgotten. Obviously, they hadn't. Day before the wedding, I arrive at the country cottage. I had both my wedding dress and daughter's dress with me, put them in the closet, went downstairs to meet family who would be staying the night at the cottage, went back up to my room. Closet door was open. My daughter's dress was gone. Since mine and my fiancé's family were staying at the cottage, and nothing else from my room was taken, I assume it was one of them who took the dress. No one is admitting to it. All that night, I tried talking my fiancé, my mother, his parents into please postponing and rescheduling the wedding because I wasn't ready. And I want my daughter's dress back. This did not go well and just led to more fighting, and by morning, we were all so miserable and angry that pretty much no one wanted to be around me. So when my hairstylist and makeup artist went to get a coffee, I left. I went home. Then I went to my best friend's house, where I'm still at, because from the voice messages and texts I'd been receiving for hours, they were making me vomit. Especially the one from my fiancé saying I've ruined everything over a stupid dress. That was all Sunday night and most of yesterday. Today I woke to a text from my fiancé asking to speak in person, which I do want to do, but he's left me so many truly awful voice messages and texts this last day or so, and I'm a little scared that he's just going to scream at me again. Small update. We've agreed over text to meet at our local cafe on Thursday. My boyfriend will be with me, we just don't know whether she should sit with us or somewhere else in the cafe. Edit 1. So I didn't realize till literally this past hour, after speaking with my dad's side of the family, they surprised visited me at boyfriend house. I wasn't thrilled, I must admit, but we've talked and now the air is clear and they're totally on my side now for leaving the wedding. And I'm not sure if this is the assumption on here too, but apparently, my dad's side of the family thought I would be walking down the aisle with just my daughter's dress. No bouquet at all. And that's why they thought it was morbid and creepy. They didn't realize that I had a bouquet because I hadn't thought to mention before because I didn't think I needed to because I thought it would be obvious. I guess in their defense, when my daughter was going to wear the dress, I wasn't going to have a bouquet, because I'd be holding her. But as soon as that wasn't possible, my Mo and I were organized for a bouquet that I could comfortably tuck the dress behind on the day. The dress was never going to be on display, no one was going to see it, I was just going to hold it behind my flowers. I don't know if that changes anything. It certainly seems to with my dad's family because they're 100% on my side now. Edit 2. After the reaction I got from my dad's family this afternoon, and from this post, posted on my Facebook page about my plans for the dress, having the dress tucked behind the bouquet, it not being on display, so on, and quite a number of family and friends have come back saying that that's what they initially thought I meant, that the dress would be somehow incorporated into my bouquet. Not that I would walk down the aisle with just the dress, but then things got warped, miscommunication happened and no one really knew how to talk to me about it because they were told by my mum and James that first was having a really rough time and to just leave me be. Mo is fuming that no one came to her because she would have set them straight. So yeah. At least most of my family and friends don't think I'm absolutely bonkers anymore. Thank you for all the comments, I've read them all and am doing my best to process all the advice. It's a lot but I think I needed to hear most of it, so thank you. We'll talk when I have the dress in my hands. He's shown you who he is. Believe him. Hey, op. What a rough time, I'm so sorry for your loss. Silver lining. The person you were about to get married to, and that family and some friends, have disqualified themselves from the pool of empathetic, reasonable, respectful, and kind people that are worthy to be in your life. It's an absolutely awful way to find this out, but in the long run, they saved you future grief. Why? Because your reasonable and natural grief is making them sad, and at their core they are narcissists who care more about what you represent than who you are. Incredibly sorry for your loss, walk from these people and don't look back. I think he will give the dress and leave, you two are not well, don't get married. So honestly the only silver lining is you've dodged a massive fucking bullet. I'm so sorry for what you've been through and I hope you find peace after all this. But fuck your fiancé for doing this to you. Stand your ground. You did absolutely nothing wrong in this situation except try and grieve your baby. I don't like the general vibe in here. Do you have someone trusted to stay in the other room during you talking to that man? Or is a meeting in a public place an option, with someone discreetly chaperoning anyway? I'm getting the full-on, danger, alert in my head reading this. There already was abuse that escalated to stealing from you. I worry it may get even worse. I, 36M. Am unsure how to proceed with friendship of, 41F. And relationship with my spouse, 39F. I, 36M. Am married to a wonderful woman, 39F. And we have 2 children with a third on the way. Our relationship has its ups and downs, but I'm fully committed. We both have demanding careers and are heavily involved in various activities, which leaves us with little time together. We've remained faithful throughout our marriage, 10 years. Since my wife became pregnant 7 months ago, our intimate life has been on hold. I believe she's dealing with depression and feeling overwhelmed by her career, despite her love for her job. I sometimes half-jokingly say that she loves her job more than me. 2 years ago, I revealed to my family that I experienced sexual abuse in my past, which still affects me emotionally and physically. My family was devastated and initially needed my support. My wife, who has a PhD in psychology, suggested I seek therapy. I've tried discussing it with her since, but I haven't received much feedback or support. Recently, I became close friends with a mother, 41F, of one of my children's friends. We share many interests and hobbies, and our friendship has grown over the past 6 months. A few weeks ago, we attended a concert together, along with some friends, but my wife stayed home due to illness. At the concert, my friend and I shared a dance, during which she whispered something that crossed a boundary. I immediately stopped and told her she would regret her actions. The next day, we met to discuss the incident, agreeing that our friendship was important, but our feelings were not romantic or sexual. We debated whether to tell our spouses about the incident, but ultimately decided against it. However, my friend's husband sensed something was off and confronted her about her feelings for me. She explained what happened at the concert, and after a long discussion, he supported our friendship as long as boundaries were respected. My mother had an affair and left our family, but I have no interest in causing similar harm to either of our families. I'm left with some questions. 1. Did I have an affair or cheat? Even asking this makes me feel like a terrible person. 2. Should I reach out to my friend's husband? 3. Do I need to cut off communication with my friend completely? 4. Should I see a therapist? I know I should and I'm working on it. 5. Do I tell my wife, even though she's already overwhelmed with life and preparing for our baby? I'm unsure how she'll handle the information. 6. It seems unfair that after opening up about my traumatic past, I now find myself feeling like the bad guy. I apologize for the long post and appreciate any advice. Update. I am cutting off all communications. Appreciate the advice. I will talk with my wife about it ASAP. I appreciate the honesty. 3. Do I need to cut off communication with my friend completely? Yes, if you value your marriage. Your friend doesn't respect your marriage, her own marriage or your wife. She's not a friend. 5. Do I tell my wife? Please, I cannot stress this enough, tell your wife. You really do need to keep communication very open and honest with her. Do not hide anything from her. If you actually value your marriage, you need to cut off contact. You don't need to address her husband since there wasn't more than an emotional affair but the waters were tested. Get to therapy, sort your shit out, and I wouldn't tell your wife in the middle of pregnancy, but eventually you should have this conversation. I wouldn't hurt and burden my pregnant wife in order to soothe my own conscience. Get your shit together and be a good husband and father. Edited to add that your abuse needs to be addressed with a therapist. My wife, who has a PhD in psychology, suggested I seek therapy. I've tried discussing it with her since, but I haven't received much feedback or support. So did you go to therapy? You're an adult and don't need your wife to choose a therapist for you, or to schedule therapy appointments for you. Why haven't you gone to therapy yet? Literally why? And yes, what you did with your friend was inappropriate. You know that, and that's why you feel guilty. Dude, you do realize how this is gonna look if she finds out that all of you knew about this but her, right? This is not something you hide because when it comes to light it will only make it worse. She was at home sick and pregnant and you were out dancing with another woman who was whispering shit in your ear. You may not have romantic or sexual feelings for her, but she surely does, or else her partner wouldn't have called her out on it. If you're having issues with your wife, work to fix them or leave. Don't start an inappropriate relationship with another woman where you start to hide stuff from your wife. That's how affairs start. You're not cheating, but you're on your way there. If she did half of the shit to you that you're currently doing to her, I highly doubt you'd like it. My 22F family doesn't approve of my boyfriend, 26M. I, 22F, have been dating my boyfriend, 26M, for 5 months now. Everything has been great. He treats me like a queen, makes me feel safe and loved, communicates nicely, takes me on trips, etc. I've met his parents and they are both great. We talk about everything and they do not want to interfere in our relationship, they just support us. My boyfriend has had a very hard life growing up. He was working since he was 5 and still works a lot. He is financially stable and has his own farm, house and cars. He is well educated and knows many things. My family, on the other hand, is a complete opposite. My mom has always been a victim who did everything to support me and my brother. I haven't had any financial support during college. She was always just helping my brother. My father doesn't care about anything. He has a job but gives some money to my brother, who lives separately with his fiancée, and keeps the rest to himself. I was always the one who paid all the bills, bought food and clothes for everyone and needed to provide for everything. When I was growing up I was more hungry than full. Nobody cared. Now, my current boyfriend came over to bring me some sawdust. I have chickens, and my parents wanted to meet him. He was very polite and respectful, never said anything bad to them. He was a bit dirty since he was working all day long, but to them that's the end of the world. He came over when we had a religious celebration last weekend and dressed nicely and was clean. My mom made jokes about how he needs to cook for her and bring her food. Now, last Friday he came over again, bringing me the sawdust and wearing his work clothes. My mother and grandmother attacked me next morning for that. I just told them that I didn't care. My mom asked him to take me, her and my brother's fiancé, to see her parents who live in the countryside and have a farm as well. He accepted, of course, and she was extremely disrespectful and rude towards him. I told her to shut it and mind her own business. When my grandma and grandpa saw my boyfriend, they made jokes about how I'm so much better looking than him, that I'm going to be his slave if we get married, etc. This morning, my grandma, who lives with us, started hysterically crying, calling him names and telling me I should be ashamed of myself for dating him, since he doesn't know how to dress. My father told me he was going to kill himself. I just told him to do it, and disown me if I continue this relationship. My mother was yelling at him, calling him the worst possible names, all because he doesn't dress how she likes and doesn't talk like we do. He is a bit old-fashioned. What should I do? Stop exposing your admittedly nice boyfriend to your god-awful family and start working on a plan to move out of their house. You should stop being your family breadwinner and move in with your BF. He id your future while your family wants to keep you in a highly unpleasant past. He's been working since he was 5 years old? It sounds like it's only his physical appearance they don't approve of, which is really low of your family. Where do you live? Your family sound unhinged. Keep the man and ditch the fanatics who see you as a meal ticket.